A gunman has been killed after he shot close to 10 people in a church in Michigan. What is going on in America? Let's get to it.
Kevin, good afternoon. A developing story indeed. We can tell you right now that the Grand Blanc police say that fire that you're seeing on your screen was started by a suspected active shooter. Sources telling Fox 2 Detroit that active shooter is now down. So this is the situation we have. We also know, according to that reporting from our local affiliate in Detroit, that there are 6 to 8 victims. Their condition currently unknown at this hour. An active shooter shooting the Church of Latter-day Saints, the Mormon church in Grand Blanc Township. This is about 60 minutes northwest of Detroit, about 10 miles south of Flint, Michigan. We have seen some folks, victims being taken out by stretcher. There has been a full-blown response to this church. We don't know how this fire was started, but sources tell our Fox 2 Detroit that fire was started by the suspected shooter. This all started shortly after 11 a.m. local time. We expect a press conference at about 12:45, 1 o'clock Eastern with the latest from the police. But this is unfortunately, this was a church that they had people there worshiping inside. This church is open 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. today. When this shooter opened fire sometime after 11 a.m., striking from reportedly 6 to 8 people in that church. Their condition unknown. You can see the shot here. This is, we don't control this.
I just have to say this. What is going on? For real. Like, these people just minding their business, going to church, praising God, Jesus, whatever. They believe in Mormonism. Okay. Why? Why? If you have evil in your heart, just go take yourself out. Why do that to other people? It's ridiculous, man. It's just sad, yo.
Camera, but this is a local affiliate there. You can see the fire trucks working there. There are police officers there. Like I said, that smoke from the church is billowing a lot less than it was even just 15, 20 minutes ago. So you can understand the situation here, Kevin, where they are working on putting out a fire at the same time that they are looking for victims of an active shooter. Just a horrific situation, a complicated situation there for our first responders in Grand Blanc, Michigan right now at the church.
It's a terrible situation. And to combine that, I don't know. The person who did it is evil. So let's get to another video and let's see what that video has to say and see if that gives any more information.
Bill, we know 10 victims. We do know that at least one deceased, multiple in critical condition, and more victims likely. I've been sort of trying to unpack the possible motivation. We just don't know at this stage. We do know that the suspect, the attacker, has been killed by law enforcement, 40-year-old male from Burton, and apparently used some sort of a rifle. What, if anything, can you glean from the limited amount of information that we have gotten so far?
Sure. And first of all, another tragic day here in the U.S. when people going about their constitutional right, freedom of religion, expressing themselves, that they're confronted with the horrific situation like this. However, as we just heard from the press conference a few minutes ago, was that the FBI has now dedicated at least 100 agents plus other resources, technical and other resources, to this investigation. Director Patel has been very leaning forward on all these incidents we've seen in just the past several weeks, where the FBI has been supporting local law enforcement. But as I listened to that press conference, there are a couple of things that kind of jumped out at me. One was certainly I would say kind of the quick and efficient way that local police responded. That this individual apparently was in a position to be able to take shots at individuals until they arrived on the scene and they neutralized him. Apparently there was some type of exchange of gunfire and he was neutralized. At the same time, he seems to have been able to set either some type of incendiary device or maybe some flammable fluid. We're not too sure what transpired, but set ablaze the church, to which point The local chief of police said they're not even too sure if they have accounted for all the victims because there may be some others who were trapped perhaps upstairs, maybe a choir loft or some of the secondary level of this church.
That's crazy. That's crazy. The suspect drove a car through the church door. Guy was a madman. Guy was a madman. And then not only shooting people, set off pretty much a bomb. I don't know why they don't want to say that. Incendiary device. A bomb. Okay? He set off a bomb, and people who could have been caught upstairs. It's just crazy.
That was then consumed by fire. So they're not too sure exactly if that count of the victims is accurate at this point. The other thing, too, and I think you discussed it preceding the break, was the fact that they haven't named the individual. Many times this is certainly in the favor of law enforcement because they want to get to location or locations where this person has lived, where he may have either some incriminating information. There could be locations that have been booby-trapped. We've seen with some other of these incidents.
True.
And so they want to just make sure that they're not telegraphing to people, either neighbors or others, who may kind of then, come upon these locations before law enforcement gets there. So they want to make sure that the public is safe as well as evidence is preserved. So it's a very evolving situation, as we know. Sometimes this kind of fog at the first few minutes of an incident, the clarity isn't there. But I can assure you, with the support of the FBI, the other federal agencies involved in this investigation, we will find the reasons why. And at this point, as the police chief said, he didn't appear that there was any further threat to the public.
Bill, end of the 30 years.
I agree with that. Not letting the guy name out, just letting him know that it's a 40-year-old male. Some people could speculate to say, well, the Church of Latter-day Saints, who are the majority of people that go to that type of church, and we can possibly speculate that it was a white male. We could. We don't know. We've been surprised before, but we don't know. And so I agree with not letting out the name. That will give people, a chance to look it up and this, that, and third, and then, do their own speculations and stuff like that, and all their own investigations and stuff like that. So that's good. I agree with that former FBI director and stuff like that. So that is a very good one. But it's sad that this happened in Michigan. There was something similar. I wouldn't say similar, but there was a shooting that happened before in Michigan, and I'll get to that video before that happened in, I believe it was June or something like that. But let me just get to that video real quick.
Terrifying moments as shots ring out at a church in Wayne, Michigan. Captured on a live stream, families seen running for safety after police say a 31-year-old man started shooting outside.
Please, everybody come to the back.
Desperate parents grabbing their frightened children.
Come on.
Parishioners ducking as they try to escape.
Mel's getting guns out of his car and going into the church.
It happened after 11 a.m. at the Cross Point Community Church just outside of Detroit.
The suspect exited his vehicle wearing a tactical vest, armed with a long gun and a handgun. He approached the church building and began firing his weapon.
According to authorities, a parishioner at the church hit the gunman with his vehicle. At least 2 staff members shot and killed the suspect outside of the building.
His motivations are unknown, but at this point it appears he was suffering from a mental health crisis.
I started hearing pop, 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 pop.
Wendy Bowden says she hid in a bathroom.
We were just praying and we didn't know what was going on, but we knew it was bad. And hearing all the gunshots.
Moments before the gunfire, children see.
I would just have to say this. It's crazy what's going on. It's crazy what's going on. This lady here, shout out to her for coming on and everything and explaining what she went through. But what is going on in America, man? I like what the police officer said, like mental crisis. Well, you go through a mental crisis and you're going to buy all that tactical gear, the long guns, the handguns, and you're going to go to a church. You knew what you was doing. He knew what he was doing. Just like the guy in the previous 2 videos. He knew what he was doing, 40 years old. And the thing is, it's crazy. 31, 32, 40 millennials. What is going on with our generation right now? Where we have a lot of sickos out here. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. But I am fortunate, and I hope that as we learn more or get more information, that there are no other deaths other than the killer, all right, from the previous 2 videos. But they did say 1 death and they said many more injured. We don't really know. Well, we'll see what happens when they release more stuff. But my brothers and sisters of America, we have to really, really look and say, if you know somebody who's going through it, mentally going through something, you got to talk to them. You got to talk to them and find out what's going on in their head and try to get them some help. Because if we don't, we're going to see more and more or hear more and more stories like this. And I don't want that to happen. I want, for us to be living in peace and for us to have, through friendship, truth, and love, we enjoy each other and just live the life that we want to live. But it's very crazy. It's very crazy. But thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you haven't already, please like the video, make some comments, and subscribe to this channel. All that good stuff will help us continue to grow on this YouTube platform. Thank you for watching. Be safe. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Peace.